Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Doing fine. Thanks for coming.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right. So as people will people continue to come in as they so choose, but just wanted to get started out of respect to people's times. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Nordquist. I am Managing Director of Community Services here at ISLES, and as one of the many things that we do here, we facilitate the Old Trenton Stakeholders Group in support of redevelopment and advancing the neighborhood here in downtown. I'll talk a little bit more about that a little later, but I do want to give everyone an opportunity to introduce themselves and let them know where you're coming from and go from there. So I will, go. I can call people out or you can pop it around, but I'll say, Chris, start. You're muted.
Hi everyone. Chris Shimchick. I'm a project manager at ISLES. I'm also the coordinator for the Neighborhood Preservation Program.
Who are you popcorning it to, Chris?
Pass it to you, Mike.
Awesome. Hi, folks. My name is Mike Whittington, Trenton native, also a project manager at ISLES. Chris, you got to add senior project manager so they know the difference. But yeah, here, grateful to be here with you all and continuing the work. I'm going to popcorn it to Heather.
Why, thank you, Mike. My name is Heather Johnson-Smith. I am the operations manager for Trenton Community Street Teams that operates under ISLES in conjunction with Building a Better Way and Fathers and Men United for a Better Trenton. And I guess I want to send it on over to Jennifer.
Thank you, Heather. I'm Jennifer Williams. I'm the new North Ward Council person here in Trenton, where ISLES is located, and of course, the Old Trenton neighborhood. And just looking forward to working with you all to improve Old Trenton as well as the rest of the ward in our city in the coming years. And I can't see. Let me see if I can drag down. Sorry. I'll send it to Jason Woodhead.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Jason Woodhead with Trenton Police Community Affairs Unit. I'm here to listen and offer any assistance or answer any questions I can help out with. I'll pass it to Kendra.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kendra McCoy. I'm the Delaware River Advocate for the Watershed Institute, and really excited to learn about what Trenton's doing in its downtown and maybe how the Watershed Institute can help. And I'll pass it over to Meg.
Did you mean Peg?
Oh my God, I meant Peg. I'm sorry, guys.
Wow. Sorry, thank you. I wasn't sure. Okay, Peg Gould, Mercer County Community College in Trenton at the Trent campus. I am the director of the Community Education and Training Program, free and non-credit programs for our Trenton adults. And I will pass it over to Iana.
Thanks, Peg. Hi, everyone. I'm Yana with I Am Trenton Community Foundation. We give community grants around the city, and we currently have an open grant round for this particular neighborhood in collaboration with ISLES, where the funding is part of the NRTC. So we have had quite a bit of interest from community members, and I'm happy to talk more about that. And I have no idea who has already talked because I joined late. I'm sorry. Somebody else will have to do the passing.
I pass it to Gulu.
Hello, I'm Gulu. I'm the Community and Resident Engagement Coordinator with ISLES, and I host a monthly residents meeting at our 10 Wood Street location for people living in the neighborhood. It's going to be February 9th at 6 o'clock, if anyone's interested in joining.
And Gulu, I will then pass it to Lara on your behalf.
Thank you, Gulu. I'm Laura Fenster-Rothschild. I'm the managing director at IELTS in charge of learning and impact, looking at how we think about what we're doing in terms of research and policy and how that impacts us in moving the needle forward in lots of different ways.
And I will pass to Ray from you. Good. Then I believe last one on our list here is Rihanna, if I pronounce that right.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Rihanna Barakakis. I work at Anchor House in the Connect to Home program, where we look for housing and help young adults maintain housing ages 18 to 25 with Section 8 vouchers. So always want to get an idea about what's going on in that department.
Great. Good to know. Welcome aboard. So I believe that's everyone. Did we miss anyone? Okay. At this point, I want to give newly elected councilperson Jennifer Williams an opportunity to introduce yourself and then say anything you'd like to. I know you've got to get going a little early today, so if there's anything you wanted to put out there, feel free to take this chance to do so.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mike. Hi, as you know, I'm the councilwoman now for the North Ward, and just wanted to let you know I'm a lifelong resident of Trenton. I was born at St. Francis. I grew up in the East Ward by Junior 2, so border of Wilbur and really kind of Wilbur, because you have to cross Hamilton Avenue to get to Villa Park. So if you talk to my older brothers, we grew up in Wilbur section, so that's what I tell folks. But I'm really, really excited to be here. I've lived in the North Ward for the last 22 years in Mill Hill section with my wife, and now we have 2 kids. And just being civically active. A long time ago, I was the founding director of the Trenton Film Festival. I've been on zoning board for 14 years previous to joining city council, and was the also the chair of the zoning board for the last 2 years previously. And just I see so many opportunities we have. We have opportunities, particularly in the North Ward. And one of the areas I am very interested in helping get jump started, make it something that the residents want to see, the voices of the residents, is in Old Trenton section, because it is one of literally the oldest parts of the city, one of the most historic, but it also has been, I believe, a part of our ward and a part of our city that hasn't received services as it should and hasn't received attention as it should. And so I'd like to be a part of helping to change that over the next 2 years with this term of city council, and I look forward to hearing what you all have to say. But I do want to let you know we have some things in the first month happening. I've been asked to focus on some things like just signage, including one for a family has a deaf and blind child in their household, which they've been waiting a long time to get for some reason. And I want to see what we can do in Old Trenton regarding that too, because I'm sure there are other needs that folks have. I did put in a request to have the pothole crews come through, particularly on Wood Street, and then also on Academy and around that surrounding area, because it, again, is an area that hasn't received some of the attention it had to receive in the past. And so we're looking forward to hopefully some announcements by summer, some other positive things. But also I do want to try to be a regular participant in these meetings going forward as my schedule allows. Unfortunately, today I have a really important meeting at City Hall at 3, so I'm gonna have to leave around 2:30 or so. But I'm really glad to be with you guys and get started.
No problem. Thanks for taking the time to join us today. It's great to have you be a part of there. Your predecessor was a regular attendee and participant in these, so looking forward to your central role in all of this as well. So glad to have you aboard. I see that we're joined by Steve Wilson. Director Wilson, do you want to say hello and introduce yourself briefly? No problem. There we go.
All right, I'm here. Good afternoon, everybody. Glad to be here. Sorry I'm late, but director's duties and all that. So I know we have some things going on in the old Trenton area. On the police enforcement side, going down there, we have our daytime task forces concentrating efforts down there, as well as our special operations group and patrol. At night, we have a canine assigned, what we used to call the old mall post. So we have a canine down there at nighttime. And also, whenever time permits, the zone car from down there will be in and around that area as far as, unless they get called out on a priority assignment. So that's what's going on there on the enforcement end in the old Trenton part of the city. I just want everybody to know that.
Great,
So
appreciate that.
hopefully we'll be able to alleviate some things. I know everyone probably noticed already that there has been a portable surveillance unit out there at Hanover and Stockton that is utilized every day in our enforcement efforts. So that's what we got going on for the Old Trenton area.
And there's also one on the, thanks for that, Director Wilson. Appreciate that update and the context. There's also one at the Academy Playground, correct? That's the
same.
Okay, got it. Great. Good to know.
Yeah, and those things work in conjunction, and that's part of the technology upgrade that we have going on in the city.
Very good. Great. Okay.
Alrighty.
Appreciate that, and thanks for joining us today. So I want to give a quick overview of, both for everyone on the call, some of the context of why we're here and Old Trenton and the next steps for some of the development and improvement activities. So as most of you know, Old Trenton is, if you look at the screen, the map there, the sort of teal, I guess, dotted line that circles those 9 blocks there between Perry and State and Broad and Route 1. That is the Old Trenton neighborhood boundaries according to the Department of Community Affairs of the state of New Jersey. And that has been where a lot of our work has been focused. ISLE's work has been focused since about 2007, 2008. Obviously, our work spills over those boundaries aplenty, but that is the initial sort of starting point. Last year, DCA opened up the Neighborhood Revitalization Tax Credit Program, which is where we've gotten a lot of funding to support our activities in the neighborhood. They reopened it to new plans, and we had to develop a new plan for the neighborhood. At that point, we also chose to expand the boundaries of the grant, at least, to include the orange line in that map, the downtown neighborhood Creek to Canal boundaries, for those of you familiar with the Creek to Canal plan. And to be able to really take advantage of the various assets in the broader neighborhood. We found ourselves relatively limited in not being able to partner with folks who are outside of that geographic footprint. And DCA also said we had probably the smallest NRTC geography in the state. So we wanted to address some of that. So now we've had that plan approved. We've submitted a proposal to fund improvements to that broader footprint. And we are waiting to hear back from them, hopefully next month, if not then in March. But what that means is we still have our open grants that are still supporting Old Trenton activities. And so we're really trying to focus that and move forward with those plans while also planning ahead to be able to make a bigger impact across the entire neighborhood. So for instance, the new boundaries will allow us to partner with Passage and Artworks because they're included within that, as well as some of the commercial strip downtown on South Warren. So there's a lot of opportunities for expansion and improvement to some of the impact of the grant. The NRTC grant in particular funds a combination of economic development pieces and quote unquote bricks and mortar. So sometimes housing development, business support. The small grants program, we consider economic development as it supports small businesses and entrepreneurs, as well as creative activities, which is designed to be a catalyst for the neighborhood. And then it also supports social service activities. So we support tenants and residents of the neighborhood through a variety of social supports and referrals to make sure that they're getting the services they need. So we try to do a little bit of it all. And that is some of what we have been up to. Also want to both give credit and acknowledge Chris Shimchick and Mike Whittington, my colleagues here. Mike Whittington, they're going to be taking on some of the coordination and leadership of this meeting moving forward. And Chris and Mike will be working in partnership to spearhead this work. I'm still going to be here. You can't get rid of me, but I just wanted to let you know that we're going to shift some of the responsibilities over there. Mike or Chris, I'm not sure who's controlling the slides, but if you want to go to the next one. So And Gulu, feel free to chime in here too, but this is some of what we've been saying. We've been doing a lot of T-Rex activities. T-Rex is our Trenton Recreational Mobile Unit, where we bring out yard games, flag football, a giant Connect Four, and engage youth, engage kids on lots of activities. We do this during the warmer months. We were doing it every week, once or twice a week at the Academy Street Playground or Clemente Park. And we intend to continue to do that. What you see here, this is a partnership with the Street Teams Initiative, where they did a trunk or treat at Academy Street Playground. They brought a ton of people out. They decorated it all. It actually looked pretty impressive. So that's some of the sort of social community building activities we do. We've got flag football over in Roberto Clemente. In early December, we always do an annual winter bonfire at the corner of Stockton and Academy in a vacant lot there, trying to reactivate the lot, bring folks out. We usually get between 60 or 70 folks out doing s'mores, doing activities. Some of the folks on this call are there. And it's really just designed to bring folks out and get them to know their neighbors. Mural on Wood Street here, this was put together by Ventus Jusu. We really want to beautify the neighborhood. Other neighborhoods, both in other cities as well as this city and the suburbs, get all these beautification efforts. We really want to be able to bring that to this neighborhood too. So that's just a smattering of some of the stuff we've been doing. Other activities that we have been up to, we continue to do some residential redevelopment. There's 2 rehabs that we're finishing up, as well as some new construction that we have planned. Over the next 3 to 5 years, we're hoping to get 15 more units of affordable housing in the neighborhood. And that's where a lot of the resources for NRTC go to sort of fill in the gaps and fill in the vacant lots and the spaces between, fill in the vacant lots and occupy the abandoned buildings and improve them, so that we've got a sort of unified and contiguous urban fabric here. So that's a lot of the NRTC stuff. I will, Yana, I don't know, do you want to, if you want to take a minute here to talk about the small grants program, which is active and open right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Michael. So yes, we have a community grants program that is currently open in collaboration with ISLES. So the way that it works is I Am Trenton basically administers funding from the NRTC grant to get it out to community members, small businesses, smaller organizations that are looking to do things in the neighborhood. I can show. Let's see. Everything is at.
I just put the link in the chat.
Did you?
Yes.
Or should I?
I did.
Okay, there you go. Perfect. So the everything, including the application, is available at this link at iamtrenton.org/Old Trenton. The application is online. It is open through February 15th. And the grants are up to $8,000, which is, kind of, pretty decent for, whether it's community members looking to do something within their neighborhood or a public art project, like put up another mural. We have supported a whole lot of things, and I'm just going to real quick share my screen. So I just really quickly want to share how very much has happened over the years. Where is share screen? I am feeling very technologically challenged today. I promise it's not usually how this goes. But if you go through our website, you can actually see our grants directory. You can filter it down to Old Trenton, and you can see some of the projects that have happened under this, under previous rounds for the grant application. Like really amazing stuff has gone on. Some of so that I do need to sub that picture because the actual court mural at Roberto Clemente did not happen, but the pool house murals did. Bentress was able to do some creative work with young people, mural panels, the Academy Street Garden, different stuff that different people associated with the A-Team did. First Presbyterian was opening itself up a little bit more. So just overall, it's a really great opportunity for people to, come up with something and, do things. So whether that's a local artist or a community member. We have actually, so all application materials and everything else is available in Spanish, and we accept applications in Spanish. And we also accept applications by video. So you can, like if a community member is more comfortable talking than writing, they can just explain like what their project is to their phone. We will evaluate that English and Spanish. And the main categories that we're supporting in this round are the one chunk is small businesses. So the businesses have to be located in the neighborhood or have to be setting up a location in the neighborhood. And it can be like for investment into their business to help them grow, or, you know, do something to make their space more welcoming, or do something to like activate like their sidewalk or whatever. So that is one category. I have walked around and dropped off applications and all kinds of info with different businesses. So that there seems to be a good amount of interest, you know, fingers crossed that people apply. And the second category is community improvement, which also includes like public art. So it's a more flexible category where there's like it can either be doing something interesting or exciting in the neighborhood, or actually doing some kind of beautification, some kind of public art installation. In the past, we've had like kind of creative bike racks. We've had obviously people doing things with a garden. We've supported multiple murals, including the Broad Street mural that you see kind of next to Byers, like along Broad Street. Right by the community or across from the community college. So things of that nature. Like I said, I walked around the neighborhood, dropped off applications and flyers. We've had several community workshops to, you know, provide people with both an opportunity to share their ideas and figure out if they fit, or to go through the application process. But please, like everybody, continue putting out the information, let people know that this is there. It really is intended as, you know, to benefit the members of the community within the neighborhood. So, you know, unfortunately, like projects that are just completely like fly in, like we have no footprint, no connection, no relationships in the neighborhood, are less likely to be evaluated well. But especially if you know community members, this is really a unique opportunity for just folks in the neighborhood to do something good, because you do not have to be a 501c3 to apply for our grants. Thank you. If you have any questions, or if anybody wants to chat offline, I will also like share my email. And yeah, did I forget anything, Michael? Oh, one important thing for this round, we are doing 2 rounds this year. This round is intended for projects that will run from April 1st to September 30th. So it's a 6-month time frame. The idea is get things done quickly. And then there will be another round in the fall where the application deadline is going to be October 1st. And then those projects will run through May of next year. All of this information.
Just I was just saying, you read my mind. That was the. I just wanted to mention the second round as well. So perfect.
Just to confirm, these are projects that would be in the original OTN boundaries, not the new ones.
Correct. Yes, because apparently this funding is older funding that was the more circumscribed boundary.
Yep. Perfect. And so,
there's one thing I'd like to offer for folks who are willing to apply to this grant at I Am Trenton for this round. Both sides of the street are included, so just keep that in mind. And the most updated map for which you can apply for is on I Am Trenton's website.
Perfect. So with that, I will pass it to Chris, who's going to talk about the neighborhood preservation program, which is part of our downtown OTN initiatives. Cool. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Michael. Many of you are probably pretty familiar with NPP, the Neighborhood Preservation Program. It's a 5-year grant from the Department of Community Affairs, which goes to the city, and the city has contracted with Isles to coordinate it. So it's $125,000 per year. The city also has a $25,000 match that goes towards salary and administrative expenses. So $125,000 goes into the NPP boundaries that you see on that map. And it mostly goes towards visual improvements or appearance-based projects. These types of projects and these goals were guided by a planning process back in the winter of 2021. We had over 800 people participating in a survey and a series of focus groups. We also looked at previous planning processes like the OTN planning process, and also I'm blanking, the Trenton plan, the master plan. So those previous initiatives help to influence and guide the process of what we is that we want MVP to become. And I should also say that it's also guided by a stakeholders group made up of several residents and business owners, property owners, and faith-based leaders. And if you're interested in becoming part of this group, we are looking for a few more members. So feel free to let me know. I will share my email address at the end. So I mentioned mostly appearance-based projects. We did a series of porch light enhancements where we switched out porch lights on Academy, Stockton, Montgomery, Perry. So 19 in total between replaced and also installed. That was like a low cost type of impactful projects that we intend to do more in year 2. We also had 5 residential facade improvements, which I'll show a few in a moment, and also 8 commercial signage improvements. A few, I believe 3 are in OTN itself. So 2 commercial facade repairs, which were wooden restorations, and also a window, 3 or 8 window replaced, and also $6,000 business improvement grants that were not just appearance based on the outside, but also helped businesses on the inside improve the interior. So painting, some updates to the furniture or merchandise displays, things like that. So that was in unison with the New Jersey SCORE program, which is a mentorship program, a free mentorship program that was organized by volunteers. And those business owners, once they participated in the SCORE program and the mentorship, received the grant that would go towards a challenge or an issue that was discussed in the meetings. So here's a few examples of our building enhancement grants. We promoted the grant widely through both Facebook and also on the ground flyering. A few examples are 240 Academy Street and 41 North Stockton. 240 was a concrete repair and also porch repair. And also 41 North Stockton, the cornice or the upper level of the residential facade was repaired. We had some actually in the middle part, that structural, I don't know if you can see my pointer, but that piece was coming out of the building. So we were able to have a contractor fix that and repaint it and clear up any of the cracks that you see. So those are quick examples. It wasn't a full restoration. It was looking at what areas in the building needed the most help and trying to prioritize that. I should also say 41 North Stockton is in the process of replacing its historic windows that is also funded by an ILS grant separate to MPP. So it was cool to be able to invest in a building that was also being worked on by other areas of business. A few examples of the commercial signage improvements. This was at Better Mornings Bagels, formerly or previously known as Trenton Bagel. So for a while, they had the sign Trenton Bagel, and probably 5 years ago they changed the name, but never changed the name of the sign. So I always kind of assumed it was Trenton Bagel, but they let me know it's actually Better Mornings Bagels. So it was an opportunity to change that, make it right, and having a better both visual from the street and also from the side. You'll notice a few blade signs on the angle shots that show from basically all the way from State Street, so you can see it pretty widely. This tree was also a bit of an issue. It blocks that. Do you notice the sign on the left side? There was a sign there, and that tree just blocked it. So we lowered the sign itself to make it more visible. One final example was Be Suited. We added a blade sign there that makes it more visible from pedestrian or the sidewalk view. And Beauty World, sorry, one more. So Beauty World was also an example where we changed out the kind of crumbling, frail look of the previous one that's been there for like 20 years and put it with a nice new color scheme that the business owner chose. So finding ways of both improving the downtown with these business signage improvements and also networking with business owners and getting them involved in other areas such as the mentorship programs. Another example of the MPP program, also with OTN collaboration, with the Downtown Trenton Holiday Pop-Up Market, which was down at 3 North Broad Street and from Broad and State. And so we accessed this vacant storefront with OTN funds and MPP funds. We paid for a lease for a few months And we were able to also fund some support performances, live performances. And we were able to get over 55 vendors in this space over the course of 2 months of the pop-up market. So it was an overall great success. Vendors really enjoyed themselves and they want to see it happen again. We're trying to find ways of making it work. Right now, the property owner has a tenant coming in March. So we're looking for other spaces, other opportunities, potentially something outdoors. We'll keep you updated with those things. I should also say vendors, while they didn't make an overall a huge amount of money with these markets, they definitely found value in them just by being able to network with each other and also learning about other opportunities through that way. So in year 2, we want to be able to continue the commercial signage improvements. OTN will also be able to help with some of those things. We also intend to continue the residential facades and the porch light repairs and porch light enhancements. We would like to be able to pilot a business plan competition, which is something that the stakeholders group discussed and really were passionate about. And so something that we wanted to be able to find a way, an incentive to bring businesses that have good ideas into the downtown. And so it's still in its infancy, but we will have more updates in the coming months. We're also partnering with TDA and NRTC and OTN to install a series of public sculptures in the downtown in collaboration with Groundswell Sculpture. So more on that in a few weeks. And finally, the tree plantings and tree pits is something that has been ongoing for a while, but with Isles' other support and other partners in the room, we want to be able to plant more trees in the downtown and also beautify the existing trees and tree pits. A lot of them have, great, huge areas around the trees that are just empty. Some are loose bricks and some just need a little bit of fixing up. So those are the types of ideas and small scale improvements that can make a big difference in downtown. That's what MP is about.
So just to piggyback off of what Chris was saying there, as we continue our investment in Old Trenton and focus on the residential component, which OTN is primarily residential, we do also, with MPP gives us an opportunity to sort of trial run what we want to be doing with the broader downtown footprint as well. So while we anticipate continuing meetings similar to this, we will expand it to be the entire downtown neighborhood as well as we start bringing in other stakeholders and other folks to be part of this conversation. But just want to also give props to Chris for moving forward with all this stuff and making some changes and improvements to things that downtown, for at least my decade in the area, folks have been saying that needs to be done, and this funding has really allowed us to just do it. And so hats off to you and to the folks you've been working with and the stakeholders.
Thanks, Mike. One final thing, MPP was also able to support a project with the police department to fund a low speed vehicle. It's kind of like a little bit better than a golf cart. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's a way to maneuver around the downtown a little easier around those tight streets. And so it's a collaboration between TDA and the city to get that off the ground. So I know we have the vehicle. It hasn't really finished getting those customizations yet, but that should be kind of up and running in a few months too.
Very cool. Great. Gulu, I wanted to give you an opportunity here to talk about any stuff that you've got coming up or that folks should know about. Sorry, I don't think that we prompted you for this, but you're always ready to talk. So Gulu, anything that you want to share with events coming up? Or
you are right. I am always ready to talk. I just don't know if people are ready to listen. So coming up, so as I did mention at the start, I have a monthly residents meeting that I put on. I was doing it on Saturdays. I'm going to be shifting that to Thursday evenings, and I do provide dinner. It's an opportunity for Isles to talk a little bit about the different grants we have going on, but really it's an opportunity for residents to chat with each other and talk about things going on in the neighborhood and, how we can kind of work together to address those issues. So that's going to be Thursday, February 9th at 6:00. The following Thursday after that, we are partnering with someone actually from our HR department, Taekwon. He does crown decorating. So we will be using cereal boxes to create crowns, and I assume we're also painting them. I haven't confirmed that with him yet. And then on the Thursday after that, the 21st, I believe, we will be screening the new Wakanda movie at our Wood Street location. And there will be refreshing beverages, and popcorn. So that's just a quick little lineup of some of the stuff I got going on in February. And as Michael had mentioned, once it gets a little bit warmer out, there will be regular T-Rex in the neighborhood. And, that might be playing some football, that might be doing some arts and crafts. It really depends on the kids and what they're interested in doing that day. I think that's enough, right?
Also, just wanted to plug, Gulu sends out a monthly newsletter of activities going on in the neighborhood. If you're not on that list and you'd like to be on that list, please reach out to him, and we'll make sure that, Chris, we have registration emails from this, right? Yeah, and we'll make sure that everybody who registered for the meeting today is on that list as well, so that you can stay in the loop and you know what's going on.
So if they're in the OTN mailing list, I think they are included in my OTN newsletter.
Gotcha. Great. Want to shift over and give Heather an opportunity to talk a little bit about street teams. For those of you, I'll give a 30-second background, Heather, to cue you up. So for those of you who don't know, Trenton Community Street Teams is an initiative that ISLES is hosting here and partnering with Better Way and a few other folks to create a community-based public safety initiative that hires local folks and trains them in on how to de-escalate, mediate conflict, and intervene in things that are going on. But I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm going to have it over to Heather to give a quick overview of what Street Teams is, what they've been up to, and where and how folks can get in touch with them to tap into the resources.
So hello again, everyone. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share with you today. Again, I'm the new operations manager at Trenton Community Street Team, which, as Michael said, is a community-based violence prevention, interruption, reduction program. We operate from 3 pillars of advocacy, community engagement, and self-development. Our mission is to heal the city by looking at the level of violence that we experience here in Trenton through a scope of trauma, understanding that trauma shapes people's behavior. Lots of times our residents do not even recognize that they have experienced trauma. So with keeping that in mind, we utilize that in how we interact with our community. I like to say that our team are a team of 18. Currently, we're hoping to increase that. We are majority Trenton residents. I am a Trenton resident, so I'm very vested in this program. I'm really excited about it. So in regards to what we do for the community, we have our Safe Passage. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Safe Passage, but we have a presence around the schools. We're at 9th Grade Academy, Daylight, Twilight, and then we're also at Trenton Central High and IYI in the afternoons. And Safe Passage is simply, we're not on school property. We are in the perimeter of schools, and we're kind of monitoring to see if anything is going on, making sure kids can arrive and go home safely. We're looking for hot spots where there may be some trouble areas where we can intervene. We do nothing hands-on. We use verbal de-escalation to work with the youth and help them manage situations as they arise. The hope is to get into the schools so we can start doing a little more work with the youth and do workshops and things of that nature surrounding anger management, self-esteem, life skills, financial literacy, all these things that will be beneficial in, shaping our residents here, because we understand that the health of a community is based on its youth. And right now, our youth are struggling, families are struggling, but, we're here to do what we can to connect our residents, participants to the services that they need. That's part of the advocacy piece. So we're working with them as they identify needs and getting them connected to the proper resources, culturally competent resources that could assist them in their treatment goals. If there is a participant who would like mental health counseling, we have a specific track for that. We have a clinical manager license who will meet, do an assessment, and then link our participants to whatever resource or provider in the community that will prove beneficial to them. So I just wanted to talk a few minutes about what we've been doing, especially here in OTN. So we recently had our community walk in Old Trenton. Where we walked around, gave out information about our program and actually talked to residents here and, asking them what they enjoy about living in Trenton and some of the concerns they had. So we had a really good response. We had 5 official interviews. And what I mean by that is that they were willing to be recorded. They signed off on a waiver and they were willing to be recorded. But we had about 20 unofficial interviews where we were able to interact with people and talk to them and just let them know that we're here to not only listen to them, but also do what we can do to make sure that these needs and concerns that they presented be addressed. We're doing this in preparation for our thesis, which is the public safety roundtable discussion that we're going to have. Thesis stands for Trenton Health Education, Safety, and Information Session. And that is going to occur Tuesday, February 7th from 10 to 11 a.m. Via Zoom. So we're definitely excited about that as well. And we will be doing more community walks. We did a recent community walk yesterday in East Trenton, North Ward, and that was successful as well. So we're really just trying to, make our presence known in the community. We finally have, our social media up and running, and we have our website. So we're just looking forward to all that can happen within this initiative. There's one piece I did want to mention. We also do in the moment victim response. So when there's an act of violence in the community, we arrive on scene and we offer support to the families in that moment. We're not just servicing those that are victims of violence, but those that have acted out of violence, we offer support to them as well. Because we understand, again, behavior is shaped by experiences, and there's a lot of trauma that exists generationally, genetically, and this is something that we're hoping to kind of work with and help clear the path for people when their vision is a little bit blurry and they need that assistance.
Great.
Is there anything that I missed, Michael?
No, I hope not. No, I think that covered a lot of the bases. I think if there's contact info that you can drop in the chat for reaching out to either to you or to street teams in general, that would be great. Just for some context as well, this is an initiative that is funded through the police department. So Director Wilson, I don't know if you wanted to add any words in there about street teams or how you would like to see them play out or anything along those lines. But if you did, feel free to. No problem. I'm sure the director is directing, and so I will we will give them that space. But thank you, Heather. Any questions for Heather about street teams or anything else that folks want to add in there? Okay. The website is in there in the chat, so please feel free to check that out, and the contact info is available at that website too. At this point, I believe we're opening it up to general discussion and updates from folks here. And so if we want to stop sharing screens so folks can see people's faces, that would be swell. Any updates from folks on the call who either events coming up, questions, things you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I have a question, Michael. Actually, it's for both Chris and Jason. We've got there's a police officer that stakes out at St. Michael's Church, and she wants to do some cleaning up of our gravestones. And I thought that was, it's just wonderful. But I thought of tying that in with something with community affairs, with the police. And possibly, I was hoping that it would be a great thing to have her teach kids how to do this. And I'm wondering whether that might fit in under the beautification, downtown beautification. Our gravestones haven't been cleaned in 20 years, and they're dark black. And we're going to be planting a garden and stuff like that. So I mean, I wanted to find out whether it was something we could do in that within the OCN beautification grant. But the other thing would be with community affairs. I know she's not in community affairs. She just happens to be an officer that is assigned in downtown at nights. But that we might go for an I Am Trenton for kids or something like that. I mean, it's a great thing for a kids program.
I mean, I don't know about Chris's part, but as far as the officer, you want to get me offline, we can see who the officer is. I'll have a conversation and see what's what before I even begin to speak on something. You know, it's kind of an offshoot of police work. Yeah, it doesn't mean it's a no. Obviously, it's something. Well, I'd personally be into, but I would have to look at it in that conversation. Right.
Okay.
So,
yeah, as long as you were there, I wanted to catch you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Great. And we can, if something does come to fruition, we can find some other folks to play along and be a part of that. Oh, Yana wants to chime in.
Yeah, quick side note, just because I heard that you were thinking of applying for an Old Trenton grant, just keep in mind that the church itself is not within the neighborhood footprint. Unfortunately, it ends at Broad Street. Y'all are past Broad Street. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah.
I know, but if you were to do something that specifically were like going into the neighborhood, I don't know, or doing something with. I just wanted you to be aware that it's a Broad Street.
Oh, okay. It's only Broad Street. Okay. I thought we were part of downtown footprint.
Downtown, yes. The new boundary, yes. But unfortunately, the funding that we have in this round and the next round are for the smaller, older footprint that ends like Broad Perry and State.
Okay.
So,
I wish it were not the case, and I've tried to push to change it, but alas.
Alas. Okay.
Also, how does one even clean those gravestones? Like they're from 1700. Like, don't they start falling apart?
She has a kit. She was very excited. She owns a cannonball. I mean, she's a Revolutionary War buff. So,
yeah, there are appropriate ways to do it. I know it is certainly done. There's also I had some colleagues, and I was in higher ed that were actually looking into, and then I'll get back on track, but looking into the degradation from pollutants of gravestones to see like what had accumulated in them, and it was a cool study. Anyway, Catherine, the Smith Family Foundation, and your various other projects. I see you're here, so I didn't know. I just wanted to give you a minute to say hello and introduce yourself, and see if there's anything that you wanted to update us on about your goings-ons.
Hi, I'm Catherine Nunley. I'm the CEO of the Smith Family Foundation, and I'm also the owner of a few properties downtown Trenton, across from Mercer County on the corner of North Broad and Perry, including the Pop building and the apartment buildings around in that area. We are looking to have our museum opening soon, so it's going to be called Turning Point Children's Discovery Center. We're finalizing some stuff with the city, and it should be coming online soon. The Smith Family Foundation, we have a historical scavenger hunt coming up during Black History Month, so keep your eyes out for those flyers and that information. And we are also very excited to be a part of the planning for the business, the small business training pilot that Chris was talking about earlier. I think that's it.
Very nice. Well, thank you. Glad to see you able to make it today, and glad to have you part of the party here. Any other updates from folks or announcements that folks want to share about things going on either in or adjacent to Old Trenton?
Michael, if I could real quick, I just wanted to add that we are currently in conversation with the Trenton Free Public Library, trying to create office hours there so we can better serve our residents as well, where they can just walk in and meet with us and get connected to services.
Very cool. Great. Then any other questions or things for the good of the group that folks want to put out there, either as issues, concerns, announcements, questions, anything out there as we wrap up here?
Michael, we have our next meeting. I think we're making it the third Tuesday of every month at 2:00.
Correct.
So our next meeting would be February
21st.
What did I say? 21st? Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So I know that we've been on hiatus for too long at this point, but we're really looking to reestablish this and build the footprint that we have of folks showing up here. So we're going to do some outreach between now and that next meeting. Make sure we've got a mix of residents and stakeholders and folks along those lines, so we can really turn this into not just a stakeholders groups, but a broader community group that represents all the different interests and priorities of the neighborhood here. So that is our work between now and then. Invite a friend, bring everyone, and if there's nothing else, we'll see you February 21st. Last chance. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week, and we will see you next month.
Thank you.
Michael, reply to your email.
Yes, I will.
Screaming.